The blue lights of Orbital Station Harmony 7 hummed softly in the xenobiology lab. Lee Tae-ho bent over his microscope, studying alien cell samples that had arrived from the Outer Rim colonies. His dark hair fell across his forehead as he adjusted. The focus. The samples were unlike anything he had seen before. They seemed to pulse with their own rhythm. Tae-ho had been working for 6 hours straight. His eyes burned from staring through the microscope lens. His back ached from hunching over the equipment. But the discovery was too important to stop now. These cells could change everything they knew about alien biology. The station floated peacefully in the Kepler system. Outside the thick windows, stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across black silk. Earth was just a memory from this distance. Home was now this metal cylinder spinning slowly through space. Humans and aliens worked together here. It was supposed to be a symbol of peace between species. Dr. Vexatai walked past the lab. His crystalline skin caught the light and threw rainbow patterns on the walls. The Alterian medic moved with grace that humans could never match. His 6 fingers made delicate work look easy. His large eyes saw more colors than human eyes could detect. Tae-ho looked up from his work. He felt dizzy. The lab seemed to spin around him. He gripped the edge of the table to steady himself. Something was wrong. His heart raced in his chest. Sweat beaded on his forehead despite the cool air. "I need help," Tae-ho whispered, but his voice was too quiet. No one heard him. He tried to stand. His legs would not support him. The floor rushed up to meet his face. His vision went black around the edges. The last thing he saw was his microscope sliding off the table, the alien samples scattered across the floor. Dr. Vextai heard the crash. He rushed into the lab. Tae-ho lay unconscious on the cold metal floor. His breathing was shallow. His pulse was weak and irregular. The Alterian medic had treated humans. Before, he knew the signs of system failure. "Emergency medical," Vextai spoke into his communicator. "Human down in xenobiology lab, preparing for transport to medical bay." The medic lifted Tae-ho carefully. Humans were so fragile compared to Alterians. Their bones broke easily. Their organs failed without warning. Vextai had always wondered how such weak creatures had survived to reach the stars. In the medical bay, Vextai worked quickly. He attached monitoring devices to Tae-ho's chest. The human's vital signs were failing fast. His brain activity showed dangerous patterns. Without immediate treatment, he would die within minutes. Park So-young received the emergency alert in the communications center. She was young for such an important position. Her steady hands worked the controls with precision. She opened channels to alert the medical staff. Her voice remained calm despite the urgency. "All medical personnel to Bay 3. Human medical emergency. Repeat, all medical personnel to Bay 3. But the other doctors were in different sections of the station. It would take them several minutes to arrive. Tae-ho did not have several minutes. His life hung by a thread that was about to snap. Dr. Vextai looked at the medicine cabinet. He had to choose quickly. The human stabilization compound would normally save Tae-ho's life. But the medic was panicking. His hands shook as he reached for the injections. The cabinet held many different compounds. Each was labeled clearly. But in his panic, Vextai grabbed the wrong vial. The neural enhancement serum was meant only for Alterian physiology. It would boost brain function to incredible levels. For an Alterian, it was a powerful medicine. For a human, it should be instant death. The needle slid into Tae-ho's arm. The silver liquid flowed into his bloodstream. Vextai only realized his mistake when he saw the empty vial in his hand. The label clearly said, "Alterian Neural Enhancement. Formula, dangerous to non-Alterian species." Terror filled the medic's crystalline features. He had just killed a human through his own carelessness. The diplomatic consequences would be severe. The Alterian collective might end their alliance with humanity. Vextai's career was over. He might face execution for his crime. But something strange happened. Taeho's vital signs did not crash. Instead, they began to stabilize. His heart rate returned to normal. His breathing deepened. The dangerous brain pattern smoothed out. The human was not dying. He was healing. Kim Dae-sung arrived at the medical bay. The security chief was built like a mountain. His serious face showed concern. He had worked with Taeho on several projects. The biochemist was a good man and a valuable member of the station crew. "How is he?" Kim asked. Vextai looked at the monitoring equipment. All readings showed normal human function. Better than normal, actually. Taeho's brain activity was stronger than before. His cellular repair rate had increased. The injection should have killed him instantly. "He is stable," Vextai said carefully, "but I need to monitor him closely." The medic did not mention his terrible mistake. Fear gripped his heart like ice. If anyone discovered what he had done, it would mean disaster. Not just for him, but for the entire peace process between their species. Other medical staff arrived. They checked Taeho's condition. Everything appeared normal. The human had suffered some kind of system shock, but he was recovering well. They congratulated Vextai on his quick treatment. The alien medic felt sick with guilt. They praised him for saving a life, but he had nearly taken that life through his carelessness. Only some miracle had prevented disaster. As the medical bay emptied, Vextai sealed the doors. He looked down at the sleeping human. Taeho's face was peaceful. He showed no signs of distress. The neural enhancement serum was flowing through his system. By all logic, he should be dead. The medic leaned close to Taeho's ear. His voice was barely a whisper. "No one must find out." The words hung in the air like a curse. Vextai had saved a life by accident, but he had also created something unprecedented. The neural enhancement formula was changing Taeho at the cellular level. His brain was adapting to the alien compound in ways that should be impossible. Outside the medical bay, the station continued its slow rotation. Humans and aliens worked together in harmony. None of them knew that everything was about to change. In that quiet room, a single mistake had set events in motion that would shake the galaxy. Taeho slept on, unaware that he was no longer entirely human. 3 days passed since the incident in the medical bay. Lee Taeho opened his eyes to a world that looked completely different. The ceiling above him was no longer just white metal. He could see tiny scratches and imperfections that were invisible before. Each mark told a story of construction and wear that his mind automatically cataloged. The monitoring equipment beeped steadily beside his bed, but now Taeho could hear patterns in the sounds, mathematical sequences that revealed the precise timing of his heartbeat. The rhythm formed equations in his mind, complex formulas that he understood without thinking. Dr. Vextai entered the medical bay. His crystalline features reflected the overhead lights. The Alterian medic tried to appear calm, but Taeho noticed things he had never seen before. Micro-expressions flickered across the alien's face, tiny muscle movements that revealed deep anxiety and fear. "How do you feel?" Vextai asked. His voice carried subtle harmonics that Taeho's enhanced hearing picked up easily. "Different," Taeho replied honestly. "Everything looks sharper, clearer. I can see details that were never there before." The medic checked his instruments. Taeho's brain activity showed patterns unlike any human reading he had seen. Neural pathways were firing at incredible speeds. New connections were forming rapidly. The enhancement serum was still working in his system. "Your recovery has been remarkable," Vextai said carefully, "but I want to keep you for observation a bit longer." Taeho nodded, but his enhanced mind was already analyzing the medic's behavior. The way Vextai avoided direct eye contact, the slight tremor in his 6-fingered hands, the elevated stress hormones that Tae-ho could somehow detect through smell. Something was wrong, but he could not yet understand what. Choi Hyun-woo visited that afternoon. Tae-ho's research partner brought updates from the xenobiology lab. The alien cell samples had been cleaned up and restored. Work was continuing on. Their analysis. "The whole team is worried about you," Hyun-woo said. He was older than Tae-ho, with gray streaking his black hair. They had worked together for 3 years. "Kim Dae-sung said you collapsed without warning." As Hyun-woo spoke, Tae-ho found himself analyzing his friend's words on multiple levels. The surface meaning was clear, but underneath he detected concern mixed with curiosity. Hyun-woo was probing for information about what had happened. "I remember feeling dizzy," Tae-ho said. "Then everything went black. Dr. Vextai saved my life." The Alterian medic shifted uncomfortably at the praise. Guilt radiated from him like heat from a furnace. Tae-ho's enhanced senses picked up the emotional signature clearly, but he still did not understand why the medic felt guilty for saving his life. That evening, Tae-ho was finally cleared to return to his quarters. The walk through the station corridors was overwhelming. He could process every detail simultaneously. The number of people passing by, the exact spacing of overhead lights, the subtle vibrations in the deck plates that revealed the station's rotation speed. In his small room, Tae-ho sat at his personal computer. He opened the research files from the xenobiology lab. The data that had puzzled him for weeks now made perfect sense. Patterns jumped out at him like neon signs. Connections between seemingly unrelated facts formed complete pictures in his mind. He began typing rapidly. His fingers moved faster than ever before. Equations flowed across the screen. Theoretical models took shape. In 2 hours, he solved problems that should have taken months of work. The alien cell samples were not random biological specimens. They were components of a larger organism, something vast and complex that existed across multiple dimensions. The cells were like pixels in a picture too large for normal minds to comprehend. Tae-ho leaned back in his chair. His head throbbed with sudden pain. The enhanced neural activity was taking a toll on his brain. He closed his eyes and tried to rest. But even with his eyes shut, he could see probability waves flowing through space around him. The next morning brought new challenges. Tae-ho returned to the xenobiology lab. His colleague Hyun-woo was struggling with a complex genetic sequence. The older man had been working on it for days without progress. "Let me take a look," Tae-ho offered. He glanced at the data for 30 seconds. The solution was obvious. He typed a series of commands that reorganized the genetic information. The random sequence suddenly revealed its hidden structure. It was not genetic code at all. It was a mathematical proof written in biological language. Hyun-woo stared at the screen in amazement. "How did you see that so quickly?" Tae-ho felt another wave of pain behind his eyes. The enhancement was pushing his brain beyond normal human limits. "I guess I got lucky," he said weakly. But luck had nothing to do with it. His mind was processing information at superhuman speeds. Pattern recognition that would challenge the station's computers came naturally to him now. He was evolving into something new. Dr. Vextai monitored him secretly through the station's medical sensors. The neural enhancement serum continued to change Tae-ho's brain structure. New neural pathways formed daily. His cognitive capacity was expanding exponentially. The medic faced a terrible dilemma. He should report the enhancement to his superiors. The scientific implications were staggering. But revealing the truth would expose his mistake. The diplomatic consequences could end the human-Alterian alliance. Ambassador Colthanis arrived on the station that week. The senior Alterian diplomat was tall even by his species' standards. His crystalline skin held flecks of gold that marked high rank. He came to inspect the joint research programs and ensure cooperation was proceeding smoothly. During the ambassador's tour, he noticed something unusual about the human researcher Tae-ho. The young man's brain activity registered on Alterian sensors. His neural patterns resembled enhanced Alterian minds, but that should be impossible for a human. Dr. Vextai, the ambassador said privately, I detect anomalous readings from one of your human patients. The biochemist named Li Tae-ho shows neural enhancement signatures. The medic's worst fears were coming true. Perhaps the sensors are malfunctioning, he suggested desperately. Alterian sensors do not malfunction, Colthanis replied coldly. I want a full medical report on this human immediately. That night, Tae-ho experienced his first major blackout. He was working late in his quarters when consciousness simply vanished. He woke up 6 hours later on the floor. Complex mathematical equations covered every surface of his room. Formulas that described the fundamental nature of reality itself. He had no memory of writing them, but somehow he understood every symbol. The equations revealed secrets about the universe that no human had ever known. His enhanced mind was accessing knowledge from the neural enhancement serum's Alterian origins. Dr. Vexatai found him there the next morning. Tae-ho was unconscious again, surrounded by impossible mathematics. The medic realized that his mistake had created something unprecedented. The human brain was not rejecting the alien enhancement. It was absorbing it completely. The transformation was accelerating. Soon, Tae-ho would surpass even the most enhanced Alterian minds. He was becoming something entirely new, something that could change the balance of power in the galaxy, and still, no one suspected the truth behind his miraculous evolution. The energy crisis on orbital station Harmony 7 had lasted for 2 months. The fusion reactors were failing in ways that no engineer could explain. Power fluctuations threatened vital life support systems. The best minds from both human and Alterian species worked around the clock without finding solutions. Li Tae-ho stood in the main engineering section. His enhanced vision analyzed the reactor displays instantly. What appeared as random failures to everyone else formed clear patterns in his mind. The problems were not mechanical, they were mathematical. The reactor control algorithms were fighting against quantum interference from nearby space. The solution is frequency harmonics, Tae-ho announced to the surprised engineering team. Chief Engineer Park Min-ho looked up from his diagnostic equipment. What do you mean? Tae-ho walked to the main control panel. His fingers moved across the interface with impossible speed. Numbers flowed across screens faster than normal humans could read. He adjusted power frequencies to match quantum resonance, patterns that only his enhanced mind could perceive. The reactors stabilized immediately. Power output increased to optimal levels. Warning alarms fell silent throughout the station. In 10 minutes, Tae-ho had solved a crisis that had stumped the best engineers for months. The engineering team stared in amazement. Park Min-ho checked the readings 3 times. How did you know to do that? I could see the patterns, Tae-ho replied simply, but his answer raised more questions than it answered. Normal humans could not see quantum interference patterns. The mathematics involved required computer assistance even for trained physicists. Yet Tae-ho had solved it as easily as basic addition. Park So-young noticed the unusual activity from her communications center. She monitored all station systems as part of her duties. The power crisis resolution created data signatures that caught her attention. She pulled up the medical bay records from the day of Tae-ho's incident. Her enhanced communications equipment detected anomalies in the medical sensor logs. During Tae-ho's treatment, brain activity spikes had registered beyond normal human ranges. The readings resembled Alterian neural enhancement patterns, but that should be impossible. Dr. Yoon Mi-rae received the data from Park So-young. The human neuroscientist was small and quiet, but her mind was sharp as a blade. She specialized in comparing human and alien brain functions. The medical readings made no sense according to established science. Dr. Vextai, she called to the Alterian medic. "I need to discuss these brain scans with you." The crystalline alien went pale when he saw the data. His worst fears were confirmed. The enhancement signature was clear and unmistakable. Human technology had finally detected what he had been desperately trying to hide. "There must be sensor errors," Vextai said weakly. "Multiple independent sensors recorded the same data," Dr. Yoon replied. "Lee Tae-ho shows clear signs of neural enhancement, but that should have killed him instantly." The Alterian medic realized his secret was finally exposed. The weight of his guilt crashed down on him like a collapsed building. He had carried the burden alone for too long. The truth had to come out. "I made a terrible mistake," Vextai confessed. "During the emergency treatment, I administered the wrong injection. I gave him Alterian neural enhancement serum instead of human stabilization compound." Dr. Yoon stared at him in shock. "That would be instantly fatal to any human." "Yes," Vextai whispered. "I expected him to die. I was terrified of the consequences, but somehow he survived. More than survived. He adapted to the enhancement in ways that should be impossible." Captain Nashevek heard the conversation through the station's communication systems. The Alterian military observer had been monitoring human activities for his government. This revelation changed everything he thought he knew about human capabilities. Nashevek was built for war. His crystalline skin was darker than civilian Alterians. Scars marked his face from ancient battles. He had seen humans as weak creatures who needed protection. But if they could successfully integrate Alterian enhancements, they could become the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The captain immediately sent encrypted messages to the Alterian High Command. The implications were staggering. Human neural plasticity appeared far superior to Alterian biology. They could potentially adapt any alien technology to their own use. The balance of galactic power was about to shift dramatically. Meanwhile, Tae-ho continued to evolve. His enhanced mind now operated on levels that surpassed even the most advanced Alterian intellects. He could perceive quantum probability fluctuations with his naked eyes. Mathematical relationships that governed reality became visible to him. Choi Hyun-woo found his research partner in the xenobiology lab. Tae-ho was staring at empty space, but his eyes tracked invisible patterns. Complex equations appeared on nearby screens without him touching any controls. His brain was interfacing directly with the station's computer systems. "Tae-ho, are you all right?" Hyun-woo asked with concern. "I can see everything," Tae-ho replied in a distant voice. "The universe is mathematical. Reality is just information processing on a cosmic scale. The alien cells we studied are not biological. They are quantum computational units." His words made no sense to normal human understanding, but his enhanced mind had penetrated mysteries that scientists had puzzled over for generations. The barrier between consciousness and physical reality was dissolving for him. Kim Dae-sung received security alerts about unusual activities throughout the station. The enhanced human was triggering sensors in ways that defied explanation. Electromagnetic fields around Tae-ho fluctuated in patterns that resembled Alterian technology signatures. The security chief began investigating quietly. Something extraordinary was happening to Lee Tae-ho. The implications for station security were serious. If hostile forces learned about his transformation, they would try to capture or kill him. Dr. Vextai felt relief mixed with terror as his secret came out. He had saved a human life through accident and created something unprecedented. But he had also potentially triggered a galactic crisis. The peaceful cooperation between species could shatter if either side saw the enhanced human as a threat. Ambassador Colthanis called for an emergency session with station leadership. The gold flecks in his crystalline skin glowed brighter when he was agitated. This situation required immediate attention from the highest authorities. "We have a problem that could affect relations between our species," the ambassador announced. "A human has been accidentally enhanced with our neural serum. This has never happened before. We do not know what he might become." Director Chen Wei-ming listened to the briefing with growing alarm. The station commander was responsible for maintaining peace between humans and Alterians. An enhancement accident could trigger diplomatic disasters that would echo across the galaxy. The enhanced human represented unprecedented possibilities and dangers. His continued evolution was accelerating beyond anyone's ability to predict or control. The question was no longer whether his transformation would change everything. The question was whether the change would bring salvation or destruction. As night fell on the station, Tae-ho stood at an observation window. His enhanced vision could see individual photons traveling through space. The quantum foam that underlied reality sparkled like stars in his perception. He was becoming something that transcended the boundaries between human and alien. The universe was revealing its deepest secrets to him. But with that knowledge came responsibility that no single being should bear alone. The encrypted message reached Earth in 3 days. President Kim Na-ri read the report in her private office overlooking the Pacific Ocean. The implications of Lee Tae-ho's transformation sent shockwaves through the highest levels of human government. An accidental enhancement that should have been fatal had instead created something extraordinary. "This changes everything," President Kim said to her advisors. "If humans can safely integrate alien technology, we are no longer the junior partners in galactic affairs." Similar discussions were happening in the crystalline spires of the Alterian homeworld. High Counselor Velandra convened an emergency session of the Collective Assembly. The ancient leader's skin held deep blue patterns that marked centuries of wisdom. But even her vast experience had no precedent for this situation. "A human has absorbed our neural enhancement serum," she announced to the assembled council. "He has not only survived but surpassed our own enhanced capabilities. This threatens the technological supremacy we have maintained for millennia." The council chamber erupted in debate. Some Alterians saw this as proof that humans were worthy partners in galactic civilization. Others viewed it as an existential threat that required immediate action. The enhancement accident had exposed the potential for humans to rapidly evolve beyond all predictions. Back on orbital station Harmony 7, Kim Dae-sung discovered evidence of sabotage attempts. Security cameras caught shadowy figures trying to access the medical bay. Someone was attempting to steal samples of Tae-ho's enhanced blood. The security chief increased protection around the transformed human. "We have multiple threats," Kim reported to Director Chen Wei-ming. "Both human and alien factions want to either capture Lee Tae-ho or eliminate him. He has become the most valuable and dangerous person in the galaxy." Tae-ho himself continued to evolve at an accelerating pace. His enhanced mind now operated on multiple levels simultaneously. He could process quantum calculations while designing new technologies while composing mathematical symphonies. His consciousness was expanding beyond normal concepts of individual identity. In his laboratory, he created devices that seemed impossible. A communication system that transmitted information instantly across any distance. Energy converters that drew power directly from quantum vacuum fluctuations. His enhanced understanding allowed him to manipulate the fundamental forces of reality. Choi Hyun-woo watched his research partner with growing amazement and concern. Tae-ho's creations defied known physics. The older scientist could barely understand the basic principles behind the miraculous inventions. "How do you know these things will work?" Hyun-woo asked. "I can see the mathematical structures that govern reality," Tae-ho replied. "Technology is just applied mathematics. Once you understand the equations, building the devices becomes simple." But his rapid advancement came with a price. Tae-ho's human emotions were becoming distant. His enhanced mind operated with cold, logical precision that frightened his friends. The warm personality they had known was fading beneath layers of inhuman intelligence. Dr. Vextai monitored the transformation with fascination and horror. The neural enhancement serum was designed to boost Alterian intelligence within safe limits, but human neural plasticity allowed unlimited expansion. Tae-ho was becoming something that transcended biological restrictions entirely. The political consequences escalated rapidly. Earth's military forces went on high alert as reports of alien fleet movements reached intelligence networks. Some Alterian factions were apparently preparing for the possibility of armed conflict. The enhancement accident had triggered a crisis that could lead to interstellar war. Ambassador Colthanis received new orders from the Alterian High Command. The gold flecks in his crystalline skin dimmed with worry as he read the classified instructions. His government was demanding immediate transfer of the enhanced human to Alterian custody for study and containment. "This is unacceptable," Director Chen Wei-Ming responded when presented with the demand. "Lee Tae-ho is a human citizen under our protection. We will not surrender him to alien authorities." The diplomatic standoff intensified as both sides refused to compromise. Tae-ho represented the future of human evolution or the end of Alterian dominance, depending on perspective. Neither species could allow the other to control such power. Captain Nashevek prepared for the worst-case scenario. His military experience told him that peaceful resolution was becoming impossible. Too many factions had too much to gain or lose. The enhanced human had become a catalyst for conflicts that had simmered beneath diplomatic surfaces for years. Park, so young, intercepted communications between various intelligence services. Both human and alien spy networks were actively working to influence the situation. Some wanted to protect Tae-ho, while others planned to eliminate him before his abilities could destabilize galactic politics. "We are sitting on a powder keg," she reported to Kim Dae-sung. "Every major faction has operatives moving toward our position. This station is about to become a battlefield." Tae-ho remained largely oblivious to the political storm surrounding him. His enhanced consciousness was focused on understanding the deeper mysteries of existence. He had begun work on dimensional manipulation technology that could allow travel between parallel universes. His latest creation was a device that could analyze probability matrices and predict future events with high accuracy. The quantum computer he built in his spare time operated by processing information from multiple timeline branches simultaneously. Dr. Yoon Mi-rae studied the brain scans of the enhanced human. The neural activity patterns showed continuous evolution. New pathways formed daily, while existing ones increased in complexity. Tae-ho's brain was becoming a biological quantum computer that operated beyond normal physical limitations. "We are witnessing the birth of a new form of consciousness," she reported to the station leadership. "Lee Tae-ho is evolving into something that may no longer be recognizably human." The implications terrified and amazed everyone who understood them. Humanity had accidentally stumbled upon the next stage of evolution. But the transformation was happening too quickly for society to adapt. The enhanced human was advancing beyond the ability of normal minds to comprehend his capabilities. High Counselor Velandra made a fateful decision. The Alterian leader authorized the deployment of advanced warships to the Kepler system. If humans would not surrender the enhanced individual voluntarily, they would be forced to comply with Alterian demands. President Kim Na-ri responded by ordering human battle fleets to defensive positions. The peaceful cooperation between species was crumbling. Under the pressure of unprecedented change, both sides prepared for a conflict that could devastate galactic civilization. Meanwhile, unknown to the squabbling politicians and military leaders, Tae-ho had discovered something that made their petty power struggles irrelevant. His enhanced vision had detected an ancient alien mechanism buried deep within the station itself. The device had been dormant for millions of years, but the unique energy signatures of enhanced minds were awakening it. Whatever built the mechanism was far more advanced than either humans or Alterians, and it was beginning to respond to the quantum resonance patterns of Tae-ho's transformed consciousness. The real crisis was not political. An ancient force was stirring in response to the enhanced human's evolution. The survival of both species would soon depend on cooperation rather than conflict. But first, they would have to survive the awakening of something that predated galactic civilization itself. As military forces massed for battle, Tae-ho worked alone in his laboratory. His enhanced mind sensed the approaching danger. The ancient mechanism was not just awakening, it was preparing to fulfill a purpose that could reshape the galaxy forever. Lee Tae-ho stood motionless in his laboratory for 3 hours. His enhanced mind processed information streams that normal consciousness could never handle. Quantum probability matrices flowed through his awareness like rivers of light. Within those patterns, he discovered the truth about his transformation. The accident was not random. Someone had deliberately manipulated events to create the situation. His enhanced intelligence allowed him to trace communication networks backward through time. Digital footprints that seemed erased forever remained visible to his evolved perception. "Dr. Vextai," Tae-ho called through the station's communication system. "Please come to Laboratory 7 immediately. I have discovered something important." The Alterian medic arrived within minutes. His crystalline features showed deep worry lines that had developed over the past weeks. The guilt of his mistake had been eating away at him like acid. "You need to see this," Tae-ho said, gesturing to a holographic display he had created. The three-dimensional image showed communication pathways between various Alterian and human factions. Red lines connected specific individuals across both species. The network revealed a conspiracy that reached the highest levels of government on both sides. "Someone wanted this to happen," Tae-ho explained. "Your injection of the wrong serum was not an accident. It was orchestrated by extremist groups who hoped I would die horribly. They planned to use my death as justification for ending human-Alterian cooperation." Dr. Vextai stared at the evidence in horror. But how could they manipulate events so precisely? "They could not control the outcome," Tae-ho replied. "They simply created conditions where your mistake was more likely to occur. Stress chemicals in the air recycling system. Subtle electromagnetic interference with medical equipment. Psychological pressure through carefully timed communications. They made you more prone to panic and error." The medic felt a new kind of guilt. He had been used as a weapon against peace between the species. His natural desire to save lives had been turned into a tool for those who wanted to end cooperation between humans and Alterians. Agent Shin Ju-won arrived on the station. That evening, the human intelligence operative moved with quiet efficiency that spoke of years in dangerous assignments. She brought classified information from Earth's security services. "We have identified the conspiracy," she reported to Director Chen Wei-ming. "Corporate interests on Earth wanted the enhancement experiments to fail. They feared that successful human improvement would disrupt existing power structures." Her investigation had revealed a network of wealthy industrialists who profited from human technological dependence on alien sources. If humans could enhance themselves to match or exceed alien capabilities, traditional business models would collapse overnight. They coordinated with Alterian extremists, Agent Shin continued. Both groups wanted the same outcome for different reasons. Human corporate leaders wanted to maintain their control. Alterian radicals wanted to prove that cooperation with humans was dangerous. Choi Hyun-woo helped Tae-ho analyze the conspiracy data. The older scientist was amazed by his partner's ability to process vast amounts of information simultaneously. Communication networks that would take teams of analysts months to unravel became clear to Tae-ho in minutes. "The leader of the Alterian faction is someone called Korthak the Purifier," Tae-ho announced. "He commands significant military resources and believes that humans are a contaminating influence on galactic civilization." Park So-young confirmed the intelligence through her communication intercepts. Korthak had been sending encrypted messages to sleeper agents throughout human space. His plan was to trigger a war that would justify the complete separation of the species. "He never expected you to survive the enhancement," she told Tae-ho. "Your death was supposed to prove that human-Alterian cooperation was impossible. Instead, Your survival has shown that it can lead to unprecedented advancement. Kim Dae-sung increased security protocols as evidence of the conspiracy mounted. Sleeper agents from both sides were operating on the station. Some wanted to protect Tae-ho, while others planned to eliminate him before his abilities could change the balance of galactic power. The security chief discovered hidden surveillance devices throughout the station. Some were human technology, while others were Alterian design. Multiple intelligence services were watching every move of the enhanced human. Dr. Vextai made a crucial decision. Despite the risks to his career and possibly his life, he chose to become an ally in exposing the conspiracy. His medical expertise was needed to help Tae-ho control his rapidly evolving abilities. "I will help you," he told the enhanced human. "I caused this situation through my mistake. Now I must help you deal with the consequences." Tae-ho's evolution had accelerated beyond all predictions. His enhanced mind could now predict the actions of the conspirators before they implemented their plans. Probability calculations allowed him to see multiple timeline branches and choose optimal responses. The ancient alien mechanism buried in the station continued to awaken. Tae-ho's enhanced consciousness had triggered responses in technology that predated current galactic civilization by millions of years. Energy patterns flowed through hidden conduits that no one had known existed. "Something else is happening," Tae-ho warned his allies. "The conspiracy is just the surface problem. There is an ancient system in the station that is responding to enhanced minds. It has been dormant for eons, but my transformation is bringing it back to life." His enhanced vision could see energy flows that were invisible to normal perception. The station was not just a research facility. It had been built around something far older and more dangerous. The location had been chosen specifically because of what lay buried beneath. Agent Shin Ju-won investigated the station's construction records. The documents showed irregularities that suggested hidden knowledge among the builders. Someone had known about the ancient mechanism and deliberately built the research facility on top of it. "The conspiracy goes deeper than we thought," she reported. "There are factions that have known about ancient alien technology for decades. They have been manipulating events to gain access to power sources beyond current understanding." Korthak the Purifier revealed his true intentions through intercepted communications. The Alterian extremist was not just trying to end human cooperation. He wanted to claim the ancient mechanism for his own faction. Enhanced minds were the key to activating dormant alien technology. He has been planning this for years, Tae-ho realized. The enhancement accident was meant to create the conditions needed to awaken the ancient system. My death would have provided the necessary quantum resonance patterns. My survival has created an even stronger activation signal. The competing conspiracies were converging on a single point. Everyone wanted to control the ancient alien mechanism. Human corporations saw it as a source of unlimited power. Alterian extremists viewed it as validation of their technological supremacy. Neither side understood the true dangers of awakening something that ancient civilizations had left dormant. Dr. Yoon Mi-rae made an alarming discovery. The enhanced human was not the only one affected by the ancient mechanism. Other individuals on the station were showing subtle signs of mental enhancement. The awakening system was beginning to influence anyone with the right neural patterns. "We may be looking at mass transformation," she warned. "The ancient mechanism appears designed to enhance consciousness on a large scale." Lee Tae-ho was just the first to reach the activation threshold. Tae-ho realized that his enhanced evolution was part of a larger pattern. The ancient mechanism was not just technology. It was a test. Civilizations that could successfully integrate enhancement without destroying themselves would be allowed to advance. Those that failed would face consequences that could end their species entirely. The conspiracy had accidentally triggered events that could determine the future of galactic civilization. But the conspirators themselves were no longer in control. Ancient forces beyond their understanding had been set in motion. The only hope for survival was cooperation between enhanced minds, regardless of their species of origin. As military forces gathered for battle, Tae-ho prepared for a different kind of conflict. The real enemy was not political opposition. It was the possibility that neither humans nor Alterians were ready for the transformation that was beginning to sweep through the galaxy. The ancient mechanism deep within Orbital Station Harmony 7 sent pulse waves through the quantum substrate of local space. Lee Tae-ho felt each wave like thunder in his enhanced consciousness. The dormant alien system was fully awakening after millions of years of silence. Its purpose was becoming clear to his evolved mind. "It is a test," he announced to the assembled station leadership. The ancient civilization that built this mechanism created it to identify species ready for transcendence. Those who can successfully integrate enhancement without destroying themselves are allowed to advance. Those who fail face extinction. President Kim Na-ri arrived on the station aboard the fastest diplomatic vessel Earth could provide. The human leader needed to see the enhanced individual for herself. Her decision would affect the future of human civilization. Tae-ho met with the president in a secure conference room. His enhanced presence was immediately apparent. Energy patterns flowed around him that were visible even to normal human perception. His consciousness operated on levels that transcended individual identity. "What do you propose we do?" President Kim asked directly. "We must expand the enhancement program," Tae-ho replied, "but only to volunteers who can psychologically handle the transformation. Human neural plasticity allows safe integration of alien enhancement. We can create a bridge between species that strengthens both." The proposal was radical and dangerous. Voluntary enhancement could create a new class of superhuman individuals, but it could also provide the key to passing the ancient test that was now judging their entire civilization. High Counselor Velandra arrived with a small fleet of Alterian vessels. The ancient leader was curious about the enhanced human who had surpassed even her species' capabilities. Her crystalline features held deep blue patterns that marked centuries of accumulated wisdom. Dr. Vex's tie surprised everyone by volunteering for reverse enhancement. The Alterian medic wanted to undergo a procedure that would integrate human neural plasticity into his crystalline brain structure. His guilt over the original accident had transformed into determination to bridge the gap between species. "I will be the first Alterian to accept human enhancement," he declared. "If our species are to survive this test, we must learn from each other rather than compete against each other." Choi Hyun-woo stepped forward as the second volunteer. The older human scientist had worked closely with Tae-ho throughout the crisis. He understood better than anyone how the enhancement could advance human knowledge. Dr. Yoon Mi-rae joined the volunteer program despite the risks to her career. The neuroscientist was fascinated by the possibility of experiencing consciousness from a fundamentally different perspective. Her expertise would be crucial for helping others adapt to enhancement. The enhancement procedures began in a specially prepared medical facility. Tae-ho's evolved mind had designed new techniques that were safer than the original accident. He could guide the transformation process to minimize psychological trauma while maximizing cognitive advancement. Each volunteer experienced the enhancement differently. Choi Hyun-woo gained the ability to perceive genetic information as visible patterns. Dr. Yoon Mi-rae developed intuitive understanding of neural network structures. Dr. Vex-tai achieved unprecedented integration of logical and emotional processing. But they remained recognizably themselves. Unlike Tae-ho's dramatic transformation, the controlled enhancements preserved individual personality while expanding mental capabilities. They became enhanced versions of who they already were, rather than entirely new beings. The enhanced team made an alarming discovery. The ancient mechanism was not just testing current species. It was connected to a galactic network of similar devices. Every star system with advanced civilizations had been seeded with these tests millions of years ago. "We are not the first to face this challenge," Tae-ho explained to the joint human-Alterian leadership. The mechanism's memory banks contain records of thousands of previous tests. Most species failed and were eliminated. Only a few achieved successful transcendence. The successful species had one common characteristic. They learned to enhance themselves while maintaining cooperation rather than competition. Those who used enhancement to dominate others triggered automatic extinction protocols. The ancient builders valued wisdom and unity over raw power. Park So-young used her enhanced communication abilities to contact other star systems. The network of ancient mechanisms was activating simultaneously across the galaxy. Every advanced species was facing the same test at the same time. It was a coordinated evaluation of galactic civilization itself. Korthak the Purifier made his final move as military forces gathered around the station. The Altarian extremist commanded a fleet of warships equipped with weapons designed to destroy enhanced minds. He intended to eliminate all enhanced individuals rather than allow the species to transcend their current limitations. Enhancement is contamination, he broadcast on all frequencies. We must purge this infection before it spreads throughout the galaxy. The battle began in the space around Harmony 7. Human and moderate Altarian forces fought together against extremist factions from both species. The enhanced individuals became the primary targets as opposing forces tried to prevent the transformation from spreading. Kim Dae-sung coordinated defensive operations with tactical brilliance enhanced by subtle mental improvements. The security chief had undergone limited enhancement that improved his strategic thinking without overwhelming his practical nature. Agent Shin Ju-won used her enhanced perception to identify and neutralize sleeper agents throughout the station. Her abilities allowed her to detect deception and hostile intent with unprecedented accuracy. The spy networks that had operated in shadows were exposed and dismantled. The ancient mechanism responded to the violence by accelerating its activation sequence. Energy surges flowed through hidden conduits built into the station's structure. The test was entering its final phase. Success or failure would be determined within hours rather than years. Tae-ho made a crucial realization. The mechanism was not just evaluating enhancement capabilities. It was measuring the moral development of the species involved. Those who used advanced abilities for cooperation and mutual benefit would pass. Those who sought domination and control would trigger extinction protocols. The enhanced team worked together to project their unified consciousness toward the awakening mechanism. Human adaptability combined with Altarian wisdom and technological sophistication, their merged perspective demonstrated the potential for transcendent cooperation between species. The ancient system recognized their achievement. Energy patterns shifted from destructive testing mode to constructive advancement protocols. Instead of elimination, the mechanism began broadcasting enhancement techniques to volunteer populations throughout the galaxy. Korthak's fleet suffered systematic failures. As the ancient network turned against aggressive intentions, weapons designed for destruction became inoperative. Ships commanded by those seeking dominance lost power and drifted helplessly in space. The extremist leader himself was affected by involuntary enhancement that forced him to experience empathy and cooperation from the perspectives of those he had tried to destroy. His crystalline features cracked and reformed as his consciousness was restructured against his will. "I understand now," he whispered, as his enhanced mind perceived the unity underlying all consciousness. "We are all part of the same greater pattern." The test was complete. Humanity and the Altarians had proven themselves capable of transcendent cooperation. The ancient mechanism began transmitting advanced knowledge that would allow both species to join the galactic community of enhanced civilizations. Dr. Vexitai's original mistake had become the catalyst for the greatest advancement in galactic history. His accidental injection had triggered events that elevated both species beyond their previous limitations. The guilt he had carried transformed into pride at having played a crucial role in species transcendence. President Kim Na-ri and High Counselor Velandra signed the first Transcendence Accord. The agreement established principles for voluntary enhancement that would preserve individual identity while expanding collective consciousness. Fear and suspicion between species gave way to cooperative exploration of unlimited potential. Tai-Ho stood at the observation window of Harmony 7 as celebration erupted throughout the station. His enhanced vision could see the quantum threads that connected all conscious beings across the galaxy. The ancient test had revealed that separation was illusion. Unity was the fundamental nature of existence itself. The enhanced individuals were no longer human or Alterian. They had become something new while remaining true to their origins. The galaxy was entering an age of cooperative transcendence that would reshape civilization across countless star systems. Dr. Vextai approached, his former patient with tears of joy flowing down his crystalline cheeks. "Thank you for surviving my mistake." Tai-Ho smiled with warmth that transcended species boundaries. "Thank you for making the mistake that saved us all." The universe was vast and full of wonders waiting to be discovered. Enhanced consciousness would allow exploration of dimensions and possibilities that previous generations could never have imagined. The future stretched ahead like an infinite ocean of light.